In the heart of a lush, fertile valley, where rivers whispered ancient secrets and mountains stood as silent sentinels, lived a girl named Nyale. She was the embodiment of beauty, her presence as radiant as the morning sun. Her skin shimmered like polished mahogany, kissed by the warmth of the African sun, and her long, dark hair flowed in thick curls down her back, wild and untamed like the wind that swept across the savannah. Her eyes, deep amber flecked with gold, held a warmth capable of melting even the coldest of hearts, while her smile, wide and luminous, resembled the first bloom of a hibiscus flower after a rainstorm, brightening the darkest day. Every man in the village admired her, and every woman envied her effortless grace. Nyale moved with the elegance of a gazelle, her laughter echoing through the village like sweet music. She was loved, adored, and cherished by all who knew her. Yet beneath her outward beauty lay a painful secret, hidden from the world. Her older brother, Tumaini, had always been her protector. He was tall and strong, admired for his leadership and wisdom among the village men. But one fateful night, the brother who was meant to guard her honor became the one to destroy it. In a moment of madness and betrayal, he shattered the bond they had shared, violating her trust in the most horrific way. The suffocating silence that followed was one Nyale chose to carry alone, burying the pain deep within. She swallowed her shame and continued to wear her radiant smile, though the weight of her secret grew heavier with each passing day. As months passed, Nyale's beauty could no longer conceal the truth. Her belly swelled with the child of her brother's sin. When the time came, she gave birth alone, far from prying eyes. The baby boy was born twisted, his limbs contorted, and his cries weak and haunting. The villagers whispered of curses and unspoken sins, and Nyale was cast out, shunned even by her own family. Her mother, who had once braided her hair and sung her lullabies, turned away in shame. Nyale and her son lived in the wilderness for many years, far from the village that had once been her home. Though her beauty remained, it was now tinged with sadness. The golden glow in her eyes had dimmed, and her smile, though still soft, was but a shadow of its former self. She lived in silence, raising her child who bore the burden of her hidden shame. Meanwhile, Tumaini thrived. He married, had a family, and built a life filled with success and admiration. But the gods do not forget. Each time his wife bore a child, the joy was fleeting, for none survived. One after another, his children died in infancy, leaving him and his wife broken and desperate. Tumaini, still blind to the source of his misfortune, sought the help of healers and spiritualists, yet no remedy could save his children. One day, a wise spiritualist, renowned for her ability to see the truth beneath the surface, came to the village. Tumaini, now desperate and at the end of his hope, sought her counsel. As he sat before her, she gazed deep into his eyes and spoke the words that would unravel his forgotten sins. "The spirits weep for the sister you wronged," she said. "She lives, but her heart remains broken. Her silence curses your bloodline." The weight of his past came crashing down upon him. The memory of that night, long buried, resurfaced with terrifying clarity. He had ruined Nyale's life and had never sought her forgiveness, leaving her to suffer in silence while he built a life on the ashes of her pain. The spiritualist's words were not merely a warning, they were a command. Tumaini had to confess, not just to Nyale, but to his family and the entire village. Only then could the curse be lifted. A gathering was called, and the entire village stood in stunned silence as Tumaini, the man they once revered, confessed his sin. His wife, his parents, and the elders watched in disbelief as he revealed the terrible secret he had hidden for years. The weight of his words fell like thunder, crashing upon the hearts of those who listened. Mothers held their children close, men averted their eyes in shame, and whispers of disgust rippled through the crowd. Tears streamed down Tumaini's face as he fell to his knees, his voice trembling with guilt. I have sinned against my sister. I stole her innocence, her joy, and left her to suffer alone. I ask for your forgiveness, and more importantly, I beg Nyale to forgive me. As the village stood in shock, Nyale stepped forward from the shadows. She had heard his confession, the truth finally spoken aloud after years of silence. Though her heart still bore the scars of her brother's betrayal, she knew that forgiveness was the only way to free them both from the curse that had haunted their family. With a voice as gentle as the breeze yet as strong as the river's current, Nyale spoke, I carried the pain of your betrayal for years, alone and in silence. I lived with the shame that was never mine to bear. Today, I release that burden, for I no longer wish to be bound by your sin. The village held its breath as Nyale, standing tall and dignified, placed her hand on Tumaini's head. I forgive you, she whispered, and in that moment, the curse was lifted. The spirit who had wept for years finally found peace. Tumaini, though forever scarred by his actions, could begin to atone for his sins. Nyale, freed from her silence, returned to the village, her beauty now filled with a new strength, one born from the courage to survive, forgive, and move forward. Moral of the story. No secret, no matter how deeply buried, can escape the judgment of time. The weight of unspoken sins will always return, demanding justice. Only through confession, forgiveness, and facing the truth can true healing begin. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the tale of the unspoken curse of Nyale. If you enjoyed the story and want to hear more captivating African folktales, please like this video and subscribe to Echoes of Africa. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Your support helps us keep sharing these rich cultural narratives.